What happens when we die? It's a question that haunts every human heart, whispered in quiet moments, asked in times of loss, and pondered when we're face to face with our own mortality. In 2023, a documentary titled After Death dared to explore this mystery, not through fiction, but through the real-life stories of people who've been there. People who flatlined and came back with tales that challenge what we think we know about death. In this video, we're diving deep into After Death, its structure, its stories, and the scientific and spiritual questions it raises. Whether you're a believer, a skeptic, or simply curious, this one's for you. After Death is a documentary from Angel Studios, the same folks behind The Chosen. Directed by Stephen Gray and Chris Radke, it blends personal testimony with expert insight to explore the controversial but fascinating topic of near-death experiences, or NDEs. But this isn't just a lineup of talking heads. The film combines dramatic reenactments, intimate interviews, and a structured, almost investigative flow. From heart-stopping accidents to moments of peace beyond the veil, it paints a layered picture of what might happen in the moments after we die. At the heart of the film are real people. Their stories are the backbone of this exploration, and each one is gripping in its own way. We hear from Dr. Mary Neal, an orthopedic spine surgeon. During a kayaking trip, she was pinned underwater for over 30 minutes, clinically dead. But she recalls a place of overwhelming peace and being embraced by Christ himself. Then there's Don Piper, a pastor who was declared dead at the scene of a horrific car crash. He describes seeing the gates of heaven and being greeted by friends and family who had passed on. Dale Black, a pilot, recounts his own NDE following a catastrophic plane crash. What he experienced, he says, changed him forever and altered his understanding of reality and faith. These aren't quick anecdotes. They're detailed, emotional, and delivered with a sincerity that's hard to ignore, even for the skeptical. But it's not all personal testimony. The documentary also brings in expert voices, doctors, researchers, and scholars who've spent decades studying the phenomenon of near-death experiences. Dr. Jeffrey Long, founder of the Near-Death Experience Research Foundation, walks us through thousands of documented cases, identifying consistent patterns across age, culture, and religion. We also meet Dr. Raymond Moody, the man who first coined the term near-death experience. His presence lends the film historical weight. He's been studying this topic since the 1970s. And then there's Dr. Michael Sabom, a cardiologist who once dismissed NDEs until he began interviewing patients and couldn't ignore the data. These experts help ground the more mystical moments with research and medical insight. Visually, After Death is both serene and striking. The filmmakers use reenactments, not over the top or theatrical, but gentle symbolic scenes to help illustrate what the subjects describe. The structure is deliberate. The film weaves between deeply personal stories and expert analysis, almost like a conversation. One moment you're hearing a heart-wrenching account of someone's death moment. The next, you're listening to neuroscience or theology unpack the brain's activity near death. It's a dance between the spiritual and the scientific, which keeps the documentary grounded while still allowing room for the profound. What After Death ultimately explores isn't just what happens when the heart stops, but what it means to live. The recurring themes: forgiveness, peace, love, judgment, and in many cases, hope. whether the interviewee was religious or not before their experience, nearly all came back changed, more compassionate, more courageous, and deeply convinced that life continues after death. Some describe bright lights. Others feel an overwhelming presence of love. Some witness past memories or even experience judgment. And a few describe darker places that made them rethink everything. Reception to the documentary has been, unsurprisingly, mixed. Audiences have responded positively. It earned an A- from CinemaScore, and many viewers described it as life-affirming. But critics? Not so kind. Some, like Nick Allen of RogerEbert.com, called it infomercial-like. Others said it was too slanted toward Christian theology and didn't represent skeptical voices well enough. But even skeptics admit the stories themselves are compelling. You may not walk away convinced, but you will walk away moved. In the end, after death doesn't try to prove anything outright. It simply invites us to listen to the voices of those who claim they've crossed the threshold and returned. Whether you view it as spiritual confirmation or just deeply human storytelling, it's a film that challenges us to think and feel. So, what do you believe happens when we die? Does this documentary shift your view? Let's talk about it in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe for more deep dives like this, and hit that bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay curious.